All right, everybody, welcome to the second ever live watch along live stream for Wrestling with the 80s. I am BC, your host with the most, or the least, or whatever. But I'm just happy to be here with you tonight. Hopefully, we've got a good wrestling audience that's joining us to watch this beautiful old school watch along of Saturday night's main event from November 28th, 1987. How many of you folks were around in November 28th of 1987? Make sure you leave a note in the comments section. Join the chat. Let me know. Were you around for this event? Did you see this event when it happened live? Is it a fond memory for you? Is it something that you're going to be seeing for the first time? Well, not seeing, unfortunately. Gotta love the way things work as far as copyright. I can't show you the event, but we are going to be doing an audio of the event, and I've got a couple of things thrown in just to make it a bit better for you as far as the listener experience. So who do we have in the chat so far, or do we have anybody at the moment? Let's see right now. Looks like we just got myself at the moment, but if you are watching live, make sure you join the chat. Make sure you let us know what's going on. Tell us where you're watching from. Tell us where you're at. Tell us how old you were when this went on. Tell us your bank account number, and as well as your password for your PIN for your debit card as well. No, just joking. We're not going to go that far. But I hope you're as excited as I am to join this live stream. Before we get going, I just want to do a little bit of tidy up as far as some thank yous to certain people, and just to give some time for some more people to join in on this. But first of all, I want to mention a big shout out to Ted Hill from Ted's Takes on Wrestling, who joined me for the first live stream a couple of weeks back when we watched Starrcade 85. And what a great event that was. I hope you got a chance to check it out too. We had one of the greatest matches of all time, the I Quit Steel Cage match with Magnum TA and Tully Blanchard, as well as, of course, our traditional Dusty finish in the Ric Flair Dusty Rhodes world title match. Little swerve action there. But on top of that, Ted's just always been a tremendous supporter to the channel. And so, as I say, I just got to say a special thank you. And I hope you go over and check him out on YouTube. Ted's Takes on Wrestling. Great channel. If you like modern stuff, if you like AEW, there's a lot of stuff on AEW. Also, Ted's been doing a lot of work with friend of the show, Taylor from Jaded Wrestling. So check out Taylor's channel as well, as they do some old school reviews as well of some of the original AEW PLEs. I guess they call them PLEs as well now. But yeah, premium live events from AEW. Fun channel. Taylor's got some great stuff as well over there. So shout out to those two guys, as they've consistently been supporters of the channel. Also, I want to say a special thank you to Andy from Grappling with Canada. Andy the Taxman has always been super supportive of this channel. Andy's been on the ride with me so far with doing my 4-part series on the Essential Hulk Hogan matches. So far, there have been 2 that have been released. The first one was the Hulk Hogan, the early years. That's from 1977 to 1983. So his pre-WWF run, AWA stuff, stuff from Memphis. We talk about different things, just some key matches that you want to check out for Hulk Hogan in the early years of his career. We also have released a couple of weeks ago, it was part 2, which covers his rise of Hulkamania in the WWF. So from 1984 until the end of the run when he leaves in 1993. Obviously, just a major time to be a wrestling fan. One of the biggest reasons that I'm a wrestling fan to this day is that run by Hulk Hogan in the 80s. So another great video that Andy was a huge help on. And pretty soon, I'm hoping this weekend, I'm going to be releasing part 3, is where we look at the WCW years. So that's from 1994 all the way through to the year 2000, when Hogan's run with WCW kind of ended unceremoniously thanks to Vince Russo. But anyways, that's going to be coming out soon. And then hopefully either the end of the year or the beginning of January, the beginning of the new year, it'll be part 4, the final part of the series, which covers Hogan's return to WWF. So if you're a fan of Hulk Hogan, and some are, some aren't, and Hulk's going to be on this episode as well. But if you're a fan or a new fan to wondering who the heck Hogan is and what's his meaning to wrestling. It's a good showing of the essential matches for sure. All right. Also, I want to give a shout out to the gentlemen over at Wrestling and Everything Coast to Coast. That's Buddy Sotelo, Dr. Mike Lano, and Evan Ginsberg for having me on their weekly podcast over on YouTube last week. It was an amazing conversation. Just unbelievable minds for old school wrestling with these gentlemen. Evan Ginsberg, of course, associate producer on The Wrestler, one of the best wrestling movies of all time. He also has his own documentary, which is 350 Days. That's Dr. Mike Lano is a professional photographer. He's a well-known in the wrestling industry for his work with photography. And of course, Buddy Sotelo is a independent wrestling manager and a great host of the Wrestling and Everything Coast to Coast. So if you can do me a favor, if you want to head over there after this live stream is over, check out their channel. Check out my episode with them, because it was a fun conversation on all things 80s, ironically enough. And I'd love it if you can give them some support. They're getting close to that 200 subscriber mark. They should have about, I don't know, 1 million more than that, because they have just a plethora of knowledge and passion for wrestling. So make sure you support them. And finally, I want to give a shout out to Tom Bryce over at Sportswire Radio, who's always been a supporter of anything that myself and my partner in crime, Jay Myers, had done as far as Wrestling with the Truth, and now with Wrestling with the 80s. And speaking of the 80s, Tom Bryce just had an interview with Jumpin' Jim Brunzell, formerly of the Killer Bees and the High Flyers in the AWA. So a great interview. Make sure you head over to Sportswire Radio. Check him out as well. Now, I just wanted to mention, hey, we've got somebody in the chat. It's the I'm a Potato. And you are first, I'm a Potato. And, sick as heck. Well, sorry to hear about that, but glad to have you here. I'm glad you're on board tonight. Hopefully it's nothing too serious, and that maybe this little look at this fantastic old Saturday Night's Main Event will make you feel a bit better. But thank you very much for joining. Really appreciate you for coming on tonight. And hopefully you're feeling better. Hopefully this will be your cup of chicken soup for the soul to help you feel a bit better. Anyways, so without further ado, let's get to this. So just a quick rundown of what we're looking at right now. So if you remember your wrestling history, November 28th, 1987, this would have been 2 days. This is a Saturday. This would have been 2 days after the first Survivor Series, which happened on November 26th, 1987. Now, this episode of Saturday Night's Main Event was actually taped prior to that Survivor Series, so they didn't really give away the results of the Survivor Series on this one. So they're going with the angles that were led from the previous Saturday Night's Main Event, which was a pretty historic Saturday Night's Main Event. It was October of 1987, and if you remember, that was when the Mega Powers united. That was when Macho Man Randy Savage turned babyface. He was attacked by the Honky Tonk Man and the Hart Foundation. They brutalized Elizabeth, all that stuff. So then, of course, Hulk Hogan comes to the rescue, and we then have the Mega Powers uniting. So that was in the previous episode. So this is actually going to be the first episode where Macho Man Savage is wrestling as a good guy. And he's facing none other than the Hitman Bret Hart in a match that, to me, is one of the sneaky best matches of the 80s. It's one that doesn't get talked about a lot, but yeah, so we got that going on. We also have Hulk Hogan against King Kong Bundy. It's as you remember, they fought each other in 1986. They had a memorable match on Saturday Night's Main Event in 1986, and then they also fought at WrestleMania 2 in the steel cage match. Bundy kind of fill the main event picture for a little while, but he's always been kind of intertwined with Hulk Hogan, and this was really as a way to get over the Hulk Hogan Andre the Giant feud, as you'll see in this episode. But yeah, the big man will make an appearance in this as well. And then finally, we also have George Animal Steele, a favorite of some of the old-time fans. He was a perennial challenger to Bruno Sammartino's WWF championship back in the day. He's taken on Dangerous Danny Davis. And I don't know how many of you remember Dangerous Danny Davis back in the day, but he was the corrupt referee that helped the Hart Foundation win the WWF tag team titles. And we're going to finish off with Bam Bam Bigelow against Hercules. Just Hercules. He was Hercules Hernandez up to around this point. But yeah, So technically, although the show is coming after Survivor Series, the initial one, it is actually it's taped beforehand. So let's get going on this. I'm excited to do it. So I'm going to start us off with a little intro. So this is going to help you line up. If you're watching, unfortunately, this one isn't available on YouTube. So if you can, check it out on Peacock. It is on there right now. It's in the Saturday Night's Main Event section. So it's season 2, episode 2. If you're trying to line up the audio with me, I'm going to put on this intro to the show, and it's a little throwback to the intro that happened at the time. I've tried my best to do it. I've cut and spliced what I can, but it's kind of get you into that feel. If you remember, the music at the time in '87 would have been Obsession by Animotion, but of course, due to copyright, they don't have that on the network now. So we're getting the generic one that we got from the Main Event in '88. But anyways, this is going to line up. So when I hit this video, it's going to start counting down. It's going to start from 5. When it hits 1, I want you to click play on Peacock, and that should line you up perfectly with what's going on Peacock. And hopefully, hopefully you can catch up, and we'll get to enjoy the show together. So let's get this going. Just before, one more comment, and it's again, I'm a potato. Love the Danny Davis angle with the Harts, JYD, Tito, and the Bulldogs. Angles with multiple pieces are my favorite. And I agree. I love when everybody's got a part to play in an angle. It's such a great thing. And the Davis angle, man, he could get some heat. We could get some heat. We'll talk about him during this episode. So let's get ready. So here we go. Here's the intro video at 1. I want you to hit play on Peacock, and away we go. And hopefully you'll pick up the audio on this.
Yeah, you have now entered the danger zone, east of Saturn, west of Jupiter, south of Mars, and north of hell, yeah. On the last Saturday Night's Main Event, you all saw the Hart Foundation and the Honky Tonk Man viciously conspire to maim and injure my manager Elizabeth for their deeds and their audacity to believe that they could destroy the indestructible Macho Madness. I make this vow. Vengeance is mine, saith the Macho Man Randy Savage. Vengeance is mine. Hitman Bret Hart, you will burn tonight.
Rise and shine, all you humanoids. That's right, get up. And call your neighbors and call your friends if you have any. And wake up that big fat wife of yours, because history's going to be written tonight. I've got a big surprise. A big surprise. You see, Bundamania lives, and Hulkamania is dead.
Long live Bundamania. Bundamania. That's a lot of cheap talk, man. Bobby the Weasel Heenan and King Kong Bundy know it takes more than that to beat Hulkamania, the strongest force in the universe. Oh yeah, King Kong Bundy, you're a big and a strong and a brave man, brother. But to beat me, you gotta beat the prayers, the vitamins, and the training, all the Hulkamaniacs. And also, big dude, you gotta face a 24-gun salute.
All right, here we go. How they doing the intro? Did it give you the chills for the old school Saturday Night Main Event intros?
And as always, Mr. Ventura, it's a pleasure to have you here with us. Oh, I'm just thrilled to be here with you, McMahon. No kidding, well, I guess it's the first time for everything. Yeah, well, I'll tell you, there's nothing I'd rather do than spend my Thanksgiving weekend with a turkey in a tuxedo.
I gotta love the old banter between Jesse and Vince. Vince, of course, is in his velvet tuxedo, I guess, his traditional velvet tuxedo. That guy was just an animal.
Bundy mania running wild. There's yet another Bobby the Brain Heenan member here with us. Making reference to Hercules Hernandez's Hercules tonight squares off against Bam
I'm with you,
Bam
man.
Bigelow.
I'm with you. I love the old school music. I wish we could have had the Obsession on there. That would have been great. I would get so pumped up as soon as I heard that riff, that drum riff. But hey,
McMahon, I'm getting tired of
it's
the bias.
copyright, right?
When are you going to straighten up? Well, if you're thinking I'm biased, then you explain away this piece of footage we're just about ready to see. Come on. It's
There he is.
I haven't seen it yet. I mean, look at it. Well, look at flagrant using a bell.
Danny Davis, it's a replay of Danny Davis interfering in George Animal Steele's last match, which set up this match here. So Steele just eats turnbuckle. Davis came in and hit him with the ring bell.
You saw the footage. Let's take you
So
now
it's
to me.
leading to this match between Danny Davis and George Animal Steele. So we're gonna go to we're gonna go to George the Animal.
Yes, that is a lovely doll of the lovely Elizabeth. But let's get back to Danny Davis. George, he really hurt you when he hit you with that bell.
Hurt, Elizabeth.
Yes, Elizabeth was hurt, but she's fine now, George.
Yeah.
You've got a match to win tonight.
Are you carrying cross levels there, Potato? You know, are you getting it to that level?
Well, Vince, I don't know if he understands what's happening right now, but I certainly hope he does when he hears the
Jesse's
bell
a
tonight.
pretty good imitation of having the bag of tricks.
Let's get back to you, Vince McMahon.
Thank you, Mean Gene, and there is Danny Davis. By the way, Mr. Davis, many of you will recall, a former referee himself. As a matter of fact,
Danny Davis giving the gears to Joey Morella here, and for all you trivia buffs out there, can you name who Joey Morella is the son of?
Which, of course, you know I am now. The body wants to state for the record that the president of the World Wrestling Federation, Jack Tunney, should have banned that menace, George the Animal Steele, a long, long time ago. Don't you agree?
Yes, Jesse, I do. You know, if Jack Tunney can ban me, a man of my integrity, from refereeing, how can he not ban that hairy ape from the ring?
Danny, some people feel you attacked the animal in South Bend. What's your thoughts on that?
I say I rang his bell once, and I'll ring it again.
Yeah, that's real funny.
Danny Davis, former, I believe, military college roommate of Vince McMahon. That's why he got the job with the WWF.
Surely you really don't fancy yourself as a
Yeah, Mr. X. Yeah.
Why not? Somebody has to step in for Howard Cosell now that he's retired. And the great thing is my hands don't
I love it.
like his did. All right, George.
Danny Davis was a damn good hand as Mr. X, and I was watching his Tony Atlas, Pedro Morales, and Barrio matches the 6th day before I saw you live. See notifications. Good way to spend a sick day, my friend, watching some old school wrestling. And yeah, Barrio, he was a fixture on those Saturday morning shows, that's for sure. Look at the strength of the animal here as he just goozles Danny Davis. I don't know. I always used to get frustrated. I don't know about you guys, but I get frustrated when a guy has a T-shirt or something on while he's wrestling. And Danny Davis, of course, had that long sleeve white compression shirt or whatever the heck you want to call it. But I guess the reason why is he was pretty heavily tattooed, and there maybe were some questionable tattoos as well. So that is the reason why they had him covered up. But whatever. I mean, it works for him, but I gotta love the ref strike pants on him. He was a bumping machine here.
He needs to get outside the ring right now and start a new game plan, in my opinion. He does not dare to try to.
I don't know about anybody else, but I didn't get to see George Animal Steele when he was in his prime and going against Bruno and MSG and stuff like that, but I wasn't a fan of this version of George Steele. Let's just say it that way. He was kind of a comical character, especially when he had the doll, the mine. But you know, he's always good for a turnbuckle eat, and you know, always. I felt like I watched him wrestle every week on TV. I don't know. It just seemed like the guy was on the TV so much. But he was truly a beast and an animal back in the day when he's going against guys like Backlund and San Martino and Morales. A leg takedown by the animal. How about that?
Never seen out of George the Animal Steele in 4 or 5 years. That was very cleverly done. Referee asking the animal to back off a little bit. I'm not too sure he understands the referee. Who's training this guy? Where did he learn a move like that? Somebody's training him.
Tato, yeah. Dan Marsh. Okay, there you go. There's the kayfabe reveal. Yeah, I never knew Vince's classmate had many tattoos, but I hope it gave him good heat. It did. It really did. It drove me crazy, and that's what you need. You just need one of those slimy heels that just gets heat. Amazingly enough, this match is like not even 4 minutes long, yet it feels like it's a long match. Look at Davis working over the foreign object, just digging this. It's probably a, I don't know, a tongue depressor with tape around it, but it looks like it's a chisel or something like that. He's working over the animal's mouth. Pretty gross, but that's why I missed that. Where's the heels? Where are the heels that use a foreign object, sneak a foreign object, because they're not tough enough to battle the baby faces? We need more of that today. That's one of the tropes that we could use, is a heel that hides that foreign object from the ref. The heat magnet.
Great moves. At least Georgiano Steele has made one wrestling move. Davis has made none. Well, let me
Again, it's probably just tape. That's all. But they make it look like it's just this deadly weapon.
70 pounds. Mentally, you have to come up with something to turn the tide your way. Well, Davis has definitely done that. Danny Davis continuing to attack George Steele and get away with it. Yes, but if you notice how he's getting...
He had hair. His name was Student and was in the WWA with the Chicago, Snyder, Dick the Bruiser promotion. I think Detroit with the Sheik as well. Yeah, I think so. Well, he was from Detroit, right? So, and he was, he was a school teacher. Was it a teacher or a gym teacher? I can't remember. One or the other. But, yeah, he was a teacher back in the day. So, yeah, it makes sense.
I disagree with you there. That had to be a submission hold. No way.
We got a quick bell here on a hammerlock. I'm trying to figure out, did Danny Davis give up? I didn't see that, but I love that angle back in the early 80s when Steele, he wrestled the guy that could dislocate his arm or dislocate his shoulder, and then he did that hammerlock, and it made it look like he broke his shoulder. It was a pretty cool angle. Oh, Morella has disqualified Danny Davis for use of the foreign object. What are we saying, Potato? Steele was an occasional wrestler, I think, back then. Would pop in around May and leave in August because he had to teach at school. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so he was a school teacher, football coach as well, if I'm not mistaken. There we go. That's what the people came for, is the turnbuckle being eaten. I'm still trying to figure out what the stuffing of the turnbuckle thrown in the face causes people to go blind, but hey, it worked. It worked in the 80s, right? Hey, sip of water for the working man. Get your water in your potato. Make sure that you're feeling healthy. Oh.
Who robbed him of the Intercontinental Championship on our last Saturday night main event. Just what did the Hitman do that was so bad? Well, you sit back and you take a look at this footage.
We're going to go to some coverage of that October 87 historic main event.
He leaps. Yes, a new champion to be crowned. Bret, is that Bret Hart? Yes, Hitman Hart. Bret Hart in there. The angle, Jim Neidhart. The referee has signaled the timekeeper to ring the bell. A blatant disqualification.
As always, this reporter is sickened by the treachery and the villainy.
All right. Probably Bret's only weakness at the time was the promos, and here we go.
Laugh if you will, but the Macho Man could very well have the last laugh tonight, Jimmy Hart.
Let me tell you something, Mean Gene, baby. The Hart Foundation, baby, we're here to finish exactly what we started.
What you started last time, beating a defenseless woman like the lovely Elizabeth.
A defenseless woman?
Jimmy Hart's so good.
Let me tell you something, baby. She's a daughter of the devil, and she was trying to bewitch my men, and they only did what they had to do.
All right, like hit the Macho Man over the head with the guitar.
Hey, he's just lucky the honky-tonk man doesn't play a piano, right, guys? Come on, man.
All right, if there are sicker men...
You know, it was so simple, but these little backstage quick 30-second promos work so much better than 15 minutes of guys standing in the middle of the ring trying to struggle to do Longfellow or something like that. But yeah, we need more of that back in wrestling too. And managers. Oh, the wife has joined the chat. Have you seen her before, Jen, from Wrestling with the Wife? Have you checked it out on the channel? We've got some fun trivia. Hey, BC, so happy to catch this main event. Allow me to say that I find Miss Elizabeth's hopeless wistfulness rather irritating. Oh, come on now. Don't be jealous. Don't be jealous. Welcome, Jen. Thank you for coming into the chat. Jen's going to serve as a moderator for us just in case anything gets too rowdy here. But yeah, Potato, let's see. Oh, ask Jen. She'll give you some tips on how to feel better. Jen is in her real shoot job is a healer, a holistic healer, so she can help.
Well, there's still some pain, but I'm fine.
You are. I'm not fine. I'm not fine at all, Mean Gene Okerlund. In fact, I've never been hungrier than I am now. Elizabeth and they laughed about it. Yeah, they laughed about it. Well, I'm telling you,
Macho on the mic.
Millions of people all around the world. Yeah, this is my quest. This is my vow. This is my life. I'm not going to rest until I get those cowards. Yeah, those cowards, and I give them what they deserve. You understand what I'm talking about? Huh? Vengeance is mine. Say it, the Macho Man, Randy Savage. Vengeance is mine.
Now, Macho Man, it's going to take one cool head to get in that ring tonight and beat Bret the Hitman Hart. We've all seen how his treachery cost you the Intercontinental Heavyweight title.
Chill out, Mean Gene Okerlund. Just chill out right now. I'm in the danger zone. And I'm
danger zone,
right now.
yeah.
I've been more ready than I am now. Yeah. Elizabeth down that aisle. Yeah. Down that aisle. Vengeance is mine.
Love the Macho's robes at that time, too. What do you say, Potato? I agree with the heels and foreign objects during the lab was amazing. Abdullah, of course, Mr. Fuji, I want to say Rene Goulet. Yeah, I remember Rene Goulet had the the Michael Jackson glove, I believe it was.
Gorgeous tonight, isn't she? What a beautiful smile. McMahon, will you get your mind off Elizabeth's body and get back to wrestling where we belong? The Macho Man and Elizabeth just about ready to step into the ring now.
There we go, yeah. You're drinking water, vitamin C and D and E. Just a bug that wipes out your work. You know, due to one of the kids getting into school. Yeah, yeah, they are a walking germ factory, aren't they? But we love them. We love them.
The Macho Man preparing himself to lock up with Bret Hart. Wait a minute, off to the left side of the ring. Neidhart.
All right, I love this match, man. This is so good. Savage and Bret. I mean, two of the best of all time going at it. I'm pretty convinced this is probably the moment that Vince realized what he had in Bret when he saw him going solo. Probably this and maybe the match with Ricky Steamboat back in 1986 in the Boston Garden. Just fantastic.
The Macho Man, and then later on for the World Wrestling Federation Championship, King Kong Bundy takes on the Hulkster.
All right, we're going to ads here for a second. Yeah, I'm cheap. I don't pay for the premium on Peacock, so I'll let you know what with a time check when we get back. But yeah, so Potato, thank you. I'm a Potato. Thanks for joining us here, and yeah, I appreciate all the commenting that you're doing. This is great. I love the conversation. Jen, thanks for coming in. We've got a few other viewers here as well, but yeah, Potato, were you watching the WWF at this time? Like, were you watching this event? Was this something that this was on the regular schedule for you? Oh, yeah. And folks, if you're not subscribed yet, make sure you do subscribe. All right, just going through another WWF ad. I have 3 Macho Man shirts, including the pink, the green. Oh, wait. Oh, we got Brian Bosworth from the Seattle Seahawks making his entrance to the arena. And if that's not a synopsis of the 1980s, he has got the full-on 80s look. Yeah, so sorry, Potato. I have 3 Macho Man shirts, including the pink cream at the crop and bust out the I found myself unjustifiably in a position I'd rather not be in. Yes, yes. Probably the most quoted wrestler of all time, to be quite honest. He has so many good ones.
Macho Man chasing the Hart Foundation all the way around right past Elizabeth. She better watch out in this match. She better watch out, and so had Macho Man. You know, he's out there with 3 tough guys, and he's got to watch all 3 of them. And Elizabeth
Macho so Chris took the elbow to the head. Bret just sells everything so well. God, he sells everything so well. Gets run into the post. Looks like it kills him. That's what you want from a wrestler. Not a guy getting up 2 seconds later, fully unharmed. Bret's already favoring the shoulder. Little telegraph. for the match. Yeah, Brian Bosworth, what a unit he was in college, but the old pro career didn't quite work out as well for the old Seahawk. He was in full pink top, Vanilla Ice style hair. Just what a unit. Oh. Savage, interestingly, he goes into the ropes, goes into the turnbuckle, shoulder first, and hangs onto the ropes. And Bret's punches, great kicks, stiff, quick. Everything with Bret has snap on it. I love it. Hard to tell he's my favorite wrestler of all time. And you are correct. I do need a new Macho Man t-shirt. Mine is starting to fall off my body. Maybe that's a Christmas present idea. I don't know.
Find a position to Macho Man. Backing to the ropes now and shoving to the far side. Coming up.
Oh, nice kick by Savage. Sorry, I just hit the microphone, folks. Nice kick by Savage. Great elbow. Bret just bouncing around like a pinball.
Macho Man now with momentum. Bret Hart on the outside. Macho Man backing across the rope. What's he gonna do? You know, the referee getting right in there. Macho Man had him by the hair.
Savage is just so intense.
Knows how to break the rules too. Oh, look at that! Oh, that'll hurt.
That was an easy, neat move too. Bret's standing on the apron, up against the ropes. Savage just makes a charge to the ropes, pushes the ropes. Bret goes automatically into the guardrail. That's an easy thing to do.
Macho Man is using everything and anything to try to win this bout. Or what you? I mean, look at the odds against the Macho Man. He has to protect Elizabeth. He has to attempt to defeat the Hitman Bret Hart. He has to
Savage getting the shine right now.
I didn't say there was
Captain Intensity.
All I'm doing is my usual unbiased commentating. Oh, now look at this. That man has no business being up on the apron. What is Neidhart doing up there? I'll tell you what.
Campbell providing a little distraction right now. And I remember back when they were feuding with the Bulldogs, man, I hated the Hart Foundation at that time. They were so good at getting heat. Even with their gear, the pink gear, just unreal. Oh, look at that. Bret with the megaphone to the stomach of Savage as he tries to come off the top.
I love that wanting to come over and help the Macho Man. Look at Elizabeth is afraid to. Normally she'd be right out there with him, but look at she's keeping her eye on Neidhart. Neidhart coming back and kick to the rib. You know, Elizabeth really, she's got no business out there. She can't.
Neidhart just chucking Savage, and what a brute he was, man. Check him out Mid-South too if you want some good old-fashioned Jim Neidhart stuff.
But in the ring right now, the man who cost the Macho Man.
Bret's punches is perfect.
Bret the Hitman Hart. Well, he's going to cost Macho Man a lot more than that because
nice.
Macho Man is hurt right now.
Tato was saying, absolutely. I was a teenager, but I think I was beginning the end. I was done with keeping up by 92, I think. Yeah, I hear you. I was keeping up, but I wasn't watching regularly from 93 till about 95. Then when the war started, the Monday Night War, that's when I really got back into it heavy again. But yeah, it kind of, when everybody was leaving for WCW, it kind of lost some of the flavor. So I had WWF, AWA, JCP, and another promotion in Boston. I think by this time, since my stepdad finally got cable in '85, my mind was blown. Yeah. I wonder if that promotion in Boston was the old IW or ICW, not the Savage Popo version from Kentucky, but I'm talking. Oh man, what a pile driver by Bret! God, he gave a great pile driver. Sorry, but yeah, not the Popo Kentucky version, but there was one that was from New Jersey. I just talked about that on my appearance on Wrestling Everything Coast to Coast. It was the Savoldi. Joe Savoldi was the Mario Savoldi was the owner of it, and I remember they showed like Vic Steamboat against the Boston Brute or something like that. 18 weeks in a row, and it had Tony Atlas and Taz as a Tasmaniac and different people like that. It was yeah, it was really good stuff.
And the Macho Man has him again. Bret Hart. Oh, this time.
That was just tossing Bret.
To the ring post. Wow, I can't believe it. Now look at the pain on Bret Hart's face.
I don't know where I'm at on the looser ropes. They had looser ropes back then. Obviously, tougher to do off the top rope moves, but they seem to just be able to cushion themselves. Yeah. IWCCW. So yeah, exactly. That's what it was. Yeah, perfect. That's what I used to see here. I'm in Nova Scotia, so yeah, I'm. That was one of the ones we got was IWCCW, and if you remember, it was Damien Demento, who goes down in lore for being in the first main event of Monday Night Raw. He was there as well as Mondo Clean. Oh, Bret is just crisp. Just what a backbreaker on the knee. Now he's going to go up to the second rope, do his traditional elbow. Misses. Savage gets out of the way just in time. I can't believe there's another person that watches IWCCW. That's great. I thought I was the only one. Yeah, we watched Atlantic Grand Prix here in Atlanta, Canada for sure. That was our big one with the Leo Burke and the Cormier family, the Beast, and different people like that. Big Stephen Pettipaw, the Cuban Assassin. It was definitely regional. That was our regional promotion, but they were a touring company. It's funny you mentioned about George Steele. He was a touring guy, or he was a summertime guy because of his teaching schedule. Well, Savage going way over the top rope, kind of exactly like if you picture in WrestleMania 3 when Steamboat flipped him over, did the backdrop over the top rope. But yeah, Atlantic Grand Prix, it was great. It ran from about May to September, October, depending when they put the ice in the rinks and stuff like that. And it went all across New Brunswick and Nova Scotia. And, great stuff. Yeah, I didn't appreciate it at the time, but man, I'd give anything to go back to those times, watch that stuff. It's such good stuff.
What will become of Elizabeth now if Macho isn't there to protect her? What's going to become of
this is the angle. Again, if you're not watching, it's Elizabeth's helping Savage take his boot off, his wrestling boot, because when he did the backdrop over the top rope, he injured his ankle, came down really hard on it. Yeah.
I'll raise his hand right now. The referee might raise the Macho Man's hand. We'll be back to find out what
we're going to add here. So it's Elizabeth's helping Randy take the laces of the boot. He's going to remove his boot. He's going to wrestle with one sock foot. So this is his way to, as I mentioned in the match, it's to deal with the pressure, the swelling that's going on with his ankle that got injured when he went over the top rope. Although it kind of doesn't make sense because usually you want to keep that thing tied tight to keep the swelling down. Yeah, so yeah, it is kayfabe. Yeah, it was. So it was a really good angle though. I loved it. The fact that they did that angle with the boot. I don't remember seeing that at the time for sure. I hadn't seen something like that. But even now as an adult, with all the wrestling in different territories I've seen the angles where Eddie Guerrero would untie the boot, and now Dominic Mysterio is copying it now. But he'd untie the boot, and the boot would come loose, and the guy would try to get an ankle lock on, and he'd be able to get out of it. But this was actually, they're playing off the fact that they thought that he had injured his ankle. I think even Vince was trying to convince us that he had broken the ankle. But it was just it's supposed to be a sprain, but it's just simplicity, but great because now it gives Bret something to attack for the rest of the match. So, yeah, great stuff there. The little things. I love the little things, All right, we are coming back. We're at 24:19 in the broadcast. If you're following along on Peacock, obviously you must be watching as well there, Beto. So, Savage. With the old white sports sock right up to the knee pad. But yeah, he's definitely, he did such a great job selling this ankle. He really, watching it, I thought he had severely hurt it. Could you imagine if he really had, with all the plans that they were going to go with him with WrestleMania 4?
The Macho Man by even attempting to continue this matchup. You know, the referee does have it in his power to stop this bout. Maybe the referee needs to be competent, step in.
I love Bret being a heel. He's asking, begging for the referee to stop the match so he wins. But now, just going after that ankle. And again, if you're going to have somebody work that, look at Bret. Look at those stomps. Perfect.
Do your job. Bret Hart, what should he
Look
do?
real, but completely safe.
He should go after it. He's out the window. The Macho Man is in the corner. Oh, no.
Bret's going to work it over against the ring post, too. Yeah. Anybody who's jumping on, we're at 25:33 in this on Peacock right now. What's everybody think about the fact that we're going to be losing all this historic old school footage off of Peacock? I don't know where it's going. There's been rumors that possibly it'll make its way over to YouTube, which would be smart by WWE because they can make zillions off of monetizing this stuff. But man, I hope they do, because one, this is just a treasure trove of wrestling. It's just so great, to see all this stuff, especially the territory stuff. But it's also my resource as far as getting material for my channel. But man, I really hope they put this on YouTube. Savage is not a one-arm man. He's a one-legged man doing a hop.
He can't stand up. He's helpless out there. And Bret Hart's back on that ankle again, putting the pressure on.
Bret just working the ankle now. Just very simple. Typical heel. His stomps are fantastic. Sam Potato. I think WrestleMania 4 is one of those events where Hogan got undue criticism. Yeah, I mean, I can agree with you. He needs to be there. He needs to help get Savage over. Obviously, he stepped aside, and Savage got the chance to become the champion. I know a lot of people think he hot dogged as far as, the celebration at the end, but I don't think he was too much. They had to have him in there because it's kind of set the tone for what we're going to see throughout the whole next 12 months for the Mega Powers explosion. So they had to have him. And Savage would say, hot dog and a grandstanding. But so does he get too much criticism? I'd say yeah. He just was champion for 4 years, and you don't just walk out and that's it. He was gonna go do his movie, so just get a little bit of heat to end it off. Slam over the rope, small package, and that's it. Great. A small package on a body slam, and the match is over. Why don't we have that more and make it believable? That's believable. Bret got caught. Savage is desperate. Bret just gets clobbered by Jimmy Hart with a megaphone when he's trying to go for Savage. Savage still selling that ankle very, very, very well.
Well, we know one thing for sure: Macho can't chase him. Look at that! An unbelievable crowd.
Another great thing.
Macho Man Savage caught Bret Hart with that rolling trailer.
There you go. Your winner, Savage, and he is hurt. Saying here, been watching the channel WCW. They're showing TBS every Saturday at 6. And WWE Vault shows them the old match. Yeah, there is stuff on there. What I loved about Peacock is that everything was just so organized. You could just grab it all, go through episode by episode. That's the one thing. Hopefully they do playlists on their channels, or just do a separate channel for each. They could easily do that. Do JCP, WWE. We're seeing some of the Seattle Seahawks right now. Do a World Clash channel, that kind of thing. But if not, at least if we can do some playlists, because we are getting to see some great old stuff. Jen, not happy about the move. Where will I go? Yeah, that's what we're talking about now. Yeah, where's it going to go? That's a good question. Where's it going to go? But hopefully it's on YouTube. All right, we're moving on to King Kong Bundy versus Hulk Hogan.
Read my lips. All you humanoids, You have as much brains as this little runt back here has hair on his head. I want you to listen to this. Standing right here is 460 pounds of pure champion. You understand that? Because tonight, Hulkamania dies and Bundy Mania is born.
Bundymania. Bundymania.
Yes, King Kong
Bundy.
Bundy may be the #1 contender right now. And, of course, he may have your so-called brain in his corner, Bobby Heenan. But you've got to remember that Hulk Hogan has the support of millions and millions of Hulkamaniacs all over the world.
I don't care about those Hulkamorons all over the world. You see, I've got a surprise.
I love Heenan. Is he the greatest manager of all time?
A big surprise?
A huge surprise.
Kidding me. I thank you very much.
Huge surprise.
Bobby Heenan, King Kong.
You know what? I always tried to figure out what was bugging me about King Kong Bundy when he made his return to WWF in the 90s, and like what was the problem? It was the eyebrows. He shaved his eyebrows in the 80s. He grew them back when he came back to the 90s, and it just totally changed them. Him and I'd say the other one with the eyebrows, and this is such a weird tangent to go on, but Bundy shaving the eyebrows made a difference in making him look scarier. And Hogan lost luster when he stopped dyeing his eyebrows blonde. When he went with the dark eyebrows, it just made him look older or something. The blonde eyebrows worked for him. So such a weird tangent to go on. But I'm going to die on that hill. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm dying on that hill.
Like I said, I've got a huge surprise. A huge surprise. Making his way down the aisle right now. What's to be in the corner with me this evening? I'm on the best.
Here's the introduction of Andre.
7'5". Oh no. 530 pounds. I give you Andre the Giant. Whoa.
Andre in his businessman attire with his suit, the sweaty shirt.
Look at the size of that man.
So technically, like I say, this was 2 days after Survivor Series when this aired, but actually it happened in early November, so prior to Survivor Series. So at this point, Andre had not wrestled a match since WrestleMania 3. That was why Survivor Series was such a big deal, the fact that Andre was getting back in the ring with Hogan. They did a great job of making him such a special attraction at this point as a heel.
Right now, let's take you back to Mean Gene Okerlund with the champion.
All right, heavyweight champion of the world, Hulk Hogan, Bobby Heenan, full of surprises. Andre the Giant, Bobby Heenan himself, and King Kong.
What is with this look with Hogan? Oh, man.
Mean Gene, it's 3 against the 24-gun salute, man. And notice the blue tinge, man. I've got a surprise for them.
See ya.
You better believe you can see it. That's the hoses popping out. The new 4-lane highways of the secondary survivor system. Just in case all 3 of those dudes. Andre the
I love the
Giant
pillars in the
Bundy
background for this
pound
promo.
by heart till it almost stops. There's a power pack behind my left ventricle, full of love, training, and vitamins. The power pack will kick in. The hoses, the blue tins will start to flare.
Jacked at
And
this
then
point.
Hulkamaniacs.
This is going to
explode.
explode.
And the secondary survival system will wipe all 3 of them out.
Oh, looks like the cards are
Look at the
stacked
size
against
of
him.
Hogan here. That's just
That's
crazy. Forget about the fringed headband look, but whatever. But yeah, just absolutely insane. I mean, like I say it about the Road Warriors, and I'll say it about Hogan. You turn your TV on and you see that on your TV. How do you not become a wrestling fan? I don't care. Like you see this maniac, jacked up dude now, or like the Road Warriors or the Ultimate Warrior or somebody. It's crazy, man. Hogan is getting mobbed on the way to the ring by the fans.
Up on the apron and listen to the roar.
Of course, one of the greatest entrance songs of all time, Real American.
If he doesn't hear the roar of that crowd, he's not going to perform as well. The Hulkster psyching himself up to lock up with the 460-pound King Kong Bundy. But getting back to what I was saying before, Heenan's done a psych out.
Hogan did a good job of grinding himself off between the interview and coming out, by the way. Mean Gene, he was so important, by the way. People don't realize how important he was at getting people over with the 30-second interview segments. Those and the promos that they would do on Saturdays is just crazy. Let's see, we got some chat going on. Let's get that up there. Yeah.
What he's got to worry about is that big bald man in the ring. 460-pound King Kong Bundy. You can see the Giants pointing that fact out to him right there. The World Wrestling Federation Championship.
Going the ad now, so we'll just check out a couple of comments here in a second. Yeah. So yeah, what do we got on the go? Oh, we got somebody new. Old Cranky Gamer. Hey, welcome to the show, Old Cranky Gamer. I appreciate you jumping on board. So looks like you're in agreement. Yes, the fringe headband. What was he thinking? It was like Backlund wearing a singlet. I agree. Yeah, Backlund with the singlet. That was a lot of aura loss too. I think we're on the loss of aura category. Hello everyone. Hello everyone. I am editing TEW the game and saw this while watching old Moolah matches. Oh wow. Okay, there you go. Hey, Old Cranky Gamer. Thanks for coming on board. What else we got? Potatoes jumping in on this. So let me see here. One thing I didn't like so much with Savage. He one of the rare things is that he really milked his leg injuries. Yes, I agree. He did. Yeah, you're probably thinking of WrestleMania 8 as well, and when he was doing that. But in this match, it worked. That's for sure, because it was such an obvious thing. But yeah, the WrestleMania one, it was just the Flair figure 4. That was just a bit much. Hogan with the dark eyebrows was odd. I agree. Yeah, that's for sure, as we mentioned. Let me see here. I do not understand why he didn't shave his head, let his handlebar and eyebrows go darkly and turn pale. I agree. Just copy Billy Graham, superstar Billy Graham. Graham did it right. Jen, what are we saying? Bundy with the eyebrows like a newborn with a full set of teeth. Odd and scary. I agree. But that's what you need. He's King Kong Bundy. He's scary, dude. Yeah, let's throw the comment, by the way, from the fringe headband. What was you thinking? It was like back and wearing a singlet. Yeah. Hello, everyone. I met in the TEW of the game, and I saw this while watching all Moolah matches. I think the same question Beto has. TEW, what's that? Total Extreme Wrestling, like Football Manager, but we're wrestling. Okay, all right. So is this an online game? Is that what this is? Or is it board, or what are we talking? I'm showing my age, right? Board game. Who the hell plays a board game anymore, right? I'm assuming it's online. Okay, I love the failed body slam. Yeah, that's always a great way to get some heat. Is okay? Let me ask this question to you guys: Is Bundy underrated as one of Hogan's top opponents of the 80s? Because he had multiple matches. So he had that one on Saturday Night's Main Event where the build up for WrestleMania 2, where Morocco. Sorry, well, he didn't have the match. Morocco had the match. Bundy comes in, injures the ribs of Hogan, which sets up WrestleMania 2. We have the cage match at Mania 2. We have the tag team match with him and Stud versus Orndorff and Hogan, which leads to the greatest heel turn of all time, in my opinion, which is Orndorff turning on Hulk Hogan. He had tag matches with Stud against Hogan and Andre. He has this match with Hogan. And then he has a follow-up match on the January Saturday Night's Main Event with Hogan as well. So, I mean, Bundy, you don't hear as much love because I think people didn't understand why he was in the main event of WrestleMania 2, but he was a great opponent for Hogan, and he was, he could move back then. I mean, he was a big dude, but he was still young at this point. I think he was like 25, 26 or something like that. Give me your thoughts. Bundy, underrated, overrated, or just right?
He's going for the big end right here. No, Bundy got that right shoulder off the mat.
Well, Hogan was just a complete heel, and he didn't even bother hiding it. Just punches and eye rakes and back scratches and kicks. And
Hart trying to set up King Kong Bundy. Whips it to the ropes. Sets him up for... No. Ooh, now that was a legal forearm. Ooh, what a clothesline by Bundy.
And Jesse calling it like it is, of course. He's a heel commentator, but he's right. Hogan's being the heel right here, not Bundy. Bundy was he was a thick guy, but not like in his 90s return. He that weight fit him, I guess, is a way to say it. I mean, and I think I always associate the number 468 with Bundy, 468 pounds. I mean, I think they use that for Akeem as well, or the one-man gang.
to his feet now. Bundy continues to apply pressure. Yanks him right back down. Continues to lean on him with those 460 pounds.
And you notice
Bundy did not pull any hair.
Looks like a gamer. What are we saying here? It's a database game. I'm starting in 1970 and have all the old promotions and wrestlers with titles. I make angles, run shows, see what if. That is pretty cool. I like it. I like it a lot.
He was nodding yes. Was he saying I give up? Referee's asking him.
Never liked Bundy? Well, there we go. I love this. The competing comments here. Old Cranky Gamer. Never liked Bundy. Potato. I really liked Bundy, but loved him more with Stud. Thought he was a great guy with a group of heels. Yeah, I agree. I liked the tag team of Stud and Bundy. Honestly, I liked and then Jen, of course. I see Bundy as someone in between. Yeah, I was just saying, Stud, Bundy. I like Stud in the tag team with Bundy too, because it was at that point he was slowed down and he wasn't quite the opponent that he was for Hogan back in the day. So it was good. It was a good place to put two big guys, and of course Heenan having this massive tag team was great. Hogan could move back here, man. This is 87. Hogan is moving well. Big boot. Andre with the sneaky trip right in front of Joey Morella, who, by the way, was always refereeing Hogan's matches.
Look out! Hulkster coming in, and here we go. Bundy was coming up from behind. You know, there was a bell.
So Bundy's DQ'd here by the referee because of the Andre trip. I don't think this is the end of the match, though, if I'm not mistaken. I think, did they restart it, or am I wrong here? This certainly is what leads to the rematch on the next Saturday Night's Main Event. Oh, okay. Now I'm remembering. They didn't end the match. They just stopped it so they could kick Andre out, who is so to the bone right now. That shirt is just dying. This is okay. I remember this. This is when he pushes the cameraman down and looks scary as hell.
But apparently the referee wants to see a clear-cut winner. He's ordered the Giant out of the arena.
This is like the bad finish with Sting versus Flair. One for each, and Sting calls it a draw. I agree. I hated when they had judges at a wrestling event, but it's a trope that they can get away with to keep the title on the heel. Now Andre is in a wet T-shirt contest right now. There's a sweat going on.
Bundy stands a tremendous chance to win this match, but he is not going to win the match unless Andre leaves the building.
Heenan's awesome, man. 5 judges. Wasn't Jason Hervey one of them?
Hogan's going to try to get in there. He's going to try to get Andre to interfere again, and that way he wins it the easy way. Andre is hot. That is an angry giant.
He is pleading with Andre. Please go back. It's Bundy's match. He looks like he's going to cry right now.
500-pound, mean, nasty giant. Is Andre leaving? It looks like he's leaving.
Yeah, you're right, Jen. These huge guys were so agile for their size. Woo! Yeah, the Andre. That's by the way, folks. That's Jen's favorite wrestler right there, Andre the Giant. Oh, Andre just took a crash to the beam.
Here comes Andre again. Andre's got to get him out of here. He's got to get out of there. He's going to cost Bundy the
These Seattle fans are rowdy. This is early grunge movement, I guess.
As much as I hate to see him leave, he's got to go. Andre the Giant walking over anything and anybody that gets in his way. The Hulkster waiting patiently for Bundy to get back into the ring, and he certainly will get back into the ring, and we certainly will have the resumption of this matchup when we return.
Yeah, unfortunately. Poor Andre. Yeah, what are we saying here? Yeah, speaking of that, Earthquake was the guy I think was a great Hogan heel, and should have beaten him. Well, okay. Hot take from the potato. Oh, hey, we got some agreement here from old Cranky Gamer, the I'm a Potato. I can see that Earthquake was quick. Yeah, he's the only man that could look like he was 60, a small child, and 40 at the same time when he was 26. Unbelievable how young yet old Earthquake looked. But man, he was scary at the time. He was when he tried to kill Hulkamania and crushed him on the Brother Love show. That was intense. And then I mean, I'm sure you guys remember when he squashed Damien the Snake. That was just another intense angle as well. But yeah, Earthquake. Canadian Earthquake originally, John Tenta. Good guy. Rest in peace, John Tenta. Rest in peace to a lot of these guys. All right, part 2 of Hogan Bundy.
He said he had a surprise, a big surprise, and I believe the official here, Joey Morella, whom you claim was biased earlier on, showed indeed just how impartial he really is. Well,
that's called the Earn Buttons Anderson disease. I agree. Good call on that. Yeah. I love the meme that's going around right now. It shows all the wrestlers when they were kids, and then they show just a modern day picture of her. I don't know if you guys listen to Cornette's podcast or not, but he was a couple of weeks back. He was doing 1984, all the wrestlers that were under 30 and the potential that they had, and it was just insane. The murderer's row of wrestlers that were under 30 at the time, and hearing that Arn was like 26 in 1984 or whatever, and just looked like he was 45 with 3 mortgages was mind-blowing, to be quite honest. Benjamin Button. Hogan going, is he going for a leg? No, misses the elbow.
I don't know where Bundy got that from to move out of the way, but somehow he caught Hogan out of his peripheral vision.
Come on, Bundy. Gotta get stiff with those kicks. Man, Hogan, underrated for his selling. He knew how to sell for both big guys and smaller guys without himself getting smaller. Talked about this before.
Whip to the buckle again. Here comes Bundy. No. There goes Hogan, I'll say.
That ring move.
Bundy with tremendous momentum. What's this? Oh, look at that. 460 pounds.
Bundy using Hogan like a surfboard.
Already injured from earlier in the bout. That's unbelievable. The Hulkster can withstand that kind of pressure. Uh-oh, now going for the bear hug. This might do it. I'll tell you, Bundy has been brilliant. He's got Hogan where he wants him.
Yeah. Heard that one. Georgia was astounding with its young and veteran talent, early 80s, which shows how Black Saturday really turned the tide. Yeah, it did. It turned the tide in many ways when you think about Black Saturday. One, you know, it forced Turner to act and to get WWF broadcasting off of CBS, so that led to Jim Crockett Promotions getting that time slot, which now famously is the 605 Supercast that you got, which really I think propelled WCW to be, propelled the NWA and Jim Crockett Promotions. That was in 1985 when they got that. And when you think about Jim Crockett Promotions, their best years were 85, 86, 87, and you know, it really, there's your initial war when you think about it, because McMahon used that money that he got from that Black Saturday sale to help finance WrestleMania. Jim Crockett Promotions gets that time slot. Originally, it had been the Mid-South Wrestling that had it. It's just crazy, like how things went. And my favorite years of wrestling are 84 to 88. It's just unreal how good it was. And I mean, that was prime Jim Crockett Promotions as well. And early in that time, up until 86, prime Mid-South, you know, you had AWA was cooking. He had all these great promotions for sure.
And again, those punches don't seem to be having an effect on Hogan. He's getting up.
Hogan's hooking up. Shows how wily Vince was, though. He looked at that guy, at the guys that drew. Yeah, agree. He found them. He was able to. Look at that. Hogan picking Bundy up with ease.
I can't believe his back had enough strength to slam 460-pound Bundy.
JYD, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, Steamboat, Valentine, Santana, and offered him more money. Yep. I mean, that's, again, a murderer's row of talent there. Imagine Bill Watts getting that slot. Well, he did have the slot. So he was showing some mid-south on there. And then I think it was Ole was upset because Georgia Championship Wrestling had been on there as well. There was a whole buyout of that, the merger with JCP. That's how Vince slipped in there, thanks to the Briscoe brothers, all those guys. Just unreal. And then of course, then JCP gets the slot after Turner forces Vince to sell it again. We got a count-out victory here for Bundy. Heenan doing yeoman's work. Yeoman's work on this.
No, I can't believe it. How can it possibly
Heenan, man. This is when he was at his peak as far as being a manager. Aside from, of course, the AWA stuff, but like just so good at selling. And then here he's going to get beaten up by Hogan and show why he's overall one of the greatest talents in the history of wrestling, not just as a manager or commentator, but he actually could sell in that ring as well. He could flip-flop and fly.
You know what? You know what's disgusting about this? Hogan knows that Bobby the Brain Heenan is a very frail individual. Look at what he's doing to him out there.
Speaking of Saturday night's main event, is anybody going to be watching Cena's last match coming up? Any interest in that? What are we thinking about that? Are we happy that Gunther's going to be the opponent for Cena? There's a lot of crying going on right now. Heenan, yeah, this is where we're going to go for another neck brace angle, I believe, with Heenan, thanks to Hogan. But again, complete heel. Assaulting the manager of King Kong Bundy because he's upset about the loss. I mean, complete heel.
First time in history, Hulk Hogan beaten by King Kong Bundy. So what does Hogan do? Beats up on little frail Bobby the Brain. Little frail Bobby the Brain. Heenan holding his neck. He was injured once before some time ago. Look at this guy. He thinks he won. Hogan thinks he's won.
Yeah, Hogan should have shaved that horseshoe.
Well, nonetheless, let's go back and take another look at the replay. Look at this.
So good. Just clinging to the leg of Hogan to get that count-out victory.
Hanging on to the ankle. Look at that weasel. As well, he should call Joey Morella. If his back is turned, he can only call what he sees, and therefore he counted Hogan out. He made the right decision. Hogan is the loser of the match, not the winner. But he's still champion.
Sorry, I'm getting up close and personal with the camera. I'm just so intense I'm watching this. This is, again, my you're seeing the childhood coming out of me here. Go backstage with Herc.
The mighty Hercules, who's going to be meeting Bam Bam Bigelow. Tonight, you're going to have to go it alone without Bobby the Brain Heenan, your manager. He has been injured. The extent or severity of those injuries at this point in time are unknown. But needless to say, you've got a big battle ahead of you.
Oh, yeah, you know, Gene Oakland, it's the same old story. If Bobby Heenan, if the King, if Andre the Giant, if Hercules does something wrong, you know, everybody calls us henchmen. Everybody says we're thugs. Everybody calls us assassins. Like we're doing something really, really wrong. But how about when Hulk Hogan does something? Everybody thinks it's all right. He's an angel.
Okay, let's move on to the subject of Bam Bam Bigelow.
I don't know about you guys, but I was a huge Hercules fan.
I'll tell you what, tonight when I put that full Nelson on you, I'm going to squeeze you so hard, your head's going to turn red and your eyes are going to bug out, just like the manager is.
All right, stand by. It's going to be Hercules.
He is just jacked to the gills. And it's crazy to think that, like, he was probably 30 pounds lighter in Mid-South, still jacked to the gills, and just moved like crazy. He was just so good. He just really turned into the muscle guy. But I thought he was so cool. I loved his look. I loved his intensity. I loved the backbreaker for the finisher, the torture rack. Yeah. The irony is, I'll talk about this after this Bam Bam interview here.
Dom said he was going to take me to the big time. This is it.
Yes, and Hercules says he has other plans for you tonight. He says he's going to squeeze
Tato's
you so
a
hard,
Hercules
you're going
fan
to
as well.
sprout red hair like Oliver.
When I get done with that jump, he's only going to have one link in his chain.
You know, Oliver Humperdinck, it's quite apparent to me that Bobby Heenan is still
Bam
bitter
Bam.
about your signing, Bam Bam.
Jersey
Does
boy.
that concern you?
You know what I mean, Gene? If he was half the manager he says he is, he'd be here right now with Bam Bam and I wouldn't he?
Good point. I thank you very much, gentlemen.
If there's ever somebody that did not fit into the WWF, it's got to be Oliver Humperdinck. Now, great manager. He was great in the territories in Florida and JCP and all that stuff, but he just did not seem to fit with the WWF. I can just picture Vince looking at him just being like, yeah, just this bug-eyed, red-haired guy. But, hey, it's work.
Bam Bam Bigelow. We're going to find out in just a few minutes when we return to have this extraordinary matchup. Plus, a word
Love the graphics that they used to put up for the wrestlers, too. Yeah, well, Hercules, I remember after Steamboat won the Intercontinental title at WrestleMania 3, his first defense on TV that they wanted to show was him against Hercules on the next Saturday night's main event. And I don't know, even young me, as much as I was so happy for Steamboat to win the IC title after what he went through in that angle with Savage, I kind of wanted Hercules to win the title. I want to see, I've always been, my thought is the chase. It's all about the chase. It's the good guy going for the chase for the title as opposed to the good guy defending the title. And except it worked for Hogan, but he was just a different breed. But the chase is what it's all about. I swear. I think like all baby faces should, as soon as they win the title, should be forced to drop and it goes to a heel again so we can start the chase all over. Yeah, the Full Nelson Challenge. Yeah, that was Herc and Billy Jack Haynes at WrestleMania 3 who had the old Full Nelson battle. Still a great move, by the way. I remember when Chris Masters was using it as a masterpiece.
Bam Bam Bigelow and Hercules Hernandez ready to lock up. Hercules. Oh, look at this, showing his muscularity to Bam Bam Bigelow, who seems a little unimpressed. Well, I'll tell you, Hercules is trying to psych Bam Bam out.
Herc is easy to make fun of as a heel, too, you know, just call him Hercules or something like that.
He is ugly. Just because he has all those tattoos all over his head, you could use a few of those.
Herc always did an interesting lockup. He really got into it. It was a loose lockup.
It'll be tested with that of Hercules. And look at that little humper fake outside the ring watching everything. You know he'll interfere if he gets a chance. Look, he's already got Bam Bam ready to punch with a closed fist. You can tell Humper thinks.
Well, Cranky Game, I'm going to lurk while I edit and watch. I'm going to try to do a year by year on my channel with TEW. If you guys like that stuff, there's a video series called TEW. What if Magnum PA never got hurt? You should check that out. I have a what if on my channel as well. Old Cranky Gamer, and it's what if Magnum PA never got hurt. Obviously, I'm not the first one to do it. There's been lots out there, but myself and Ted the Hillbilly Heel from Ted Stakes and Wrestling, we had a fantastic discussion on the what ifs about whether, you know, would they have gone with Magnum PA as a champion? Would he have ended up in WWF? Great stuff, but you know, it's to me, it's probably the biggest what if between him and David Von Erich. Really, if David Von Erich hadn't passed the what ifs with him, would he have been NWA World Champion? Would Magnum been NWA World Champion? Would the Von Erichs have had as much tragedy in that family if he hadn't passed away? Yeah.
Nice reversal. Off the rope, Bam Bam. Hercules missing off the rope again. Oh, he didn't miss.
And Granddad would have went nuts watching this new knuckle prints in the old Lazy Boy. Love it. Look at Hercules. Woo. He just clotheslined Bam Bam Bigelow at over 300 pounds over the top rope like nothing. Bam Bam was really athletic.
But once he did it, This guy come down and hit hard all 300 I'll tell you what. Pounds of him. Bam Bam.
Yeah, old Cranky Gamer. I'll have to check out that channel. Yeah, I'm agreeing with Potato. Yeah, we'll definitely check it out. Thank you, Potato, by the way. I appreciate you saying that about enjoying the discussion on that. There's a couple of what ifs. I got to get back into the what ifs as well. I'd like to do one on Roddy Piper. And what if he never went to the WWF? What if he had stayed in Jim Crockett Promotions after Starrcade 83? After that match with Valentine? Would he have become a horseman? Would he have become world champion? Like, what would have happened with WWF if Hogan doesn't have the fuel to his fire, right? Like, if he doesn't have that heel.
And they're hammering away on the outside of the ring. I can't see an advantage with either man. They're going
I'm going to go with a double count out here, I'm assuming. Look at Bosworth. What an 80s relic he is. Look at the amount of dudes in the audience, like, just going crazy for this.
Bam Bam rolls back in. We got an obvious double count out here. Both men on the floor. They were outside hammering away. I think maybe they weren't even listening to
Old Cranky Gamer just subbed. We'll look it up. My big thing is Bobby Shane, the original King. I watched a lot of CWF, Georgia, and Florida's wacky wrestling. I love it. Thank you for the sub, by the way, Old Cranky Gamer. Appreciate that. I'll make sure after this to head over to your channel as well and give it a sub to check out what you've got there. Appreciate it. I'm glad. Oh, speak of the devil, look who makes a run in here. It's Ted from Ted Talks Wrestling, or Ted Takes on Wrestling. Got it. I wish I could speak. Horseman Run with Piper would be definitely fun. Well, Ted, I may be hitting you up to join me for that what if, because that seems to be our forte is the what ifs, and I think we'd have a good conversation around that. Would that have led to some problems for the WWF? You got no Piper. You need Superman needs his Lex Luthor, right? And if you don't have Piper, who's Hogan fighting at that time? He has Orndorff, maybe, but does Orndorff come? Does it change? You know, the whole wrestling structure as it, you know, as things go. Ted, don't worry about being late. You're just in time. You're just in time. Don't worry about it, my friend. Yeah, we're just in ads here. We're getting to the conclusion of Saturday Night's Main Event right now. We're in the Bam Bam Bigelow versus Hercules Hernandez match. Potato saying, not sure if Piper and Flair would have worked, but would have loved to see it. Well, they worked together as baby faces. Of course, they were running buddies. They quite enjoyed hanging out together, so causing mayhem. So yeah, we could have had that, but I think he would have been a much better foil for Flair and staying in that babyface run, maybe throughout '84, leading to possibly a heel turn in '85. Setting up for Stargate. Then you don't have the Dusty saga going on as well. But could you imagine like a feud with Piper and Tully Blanchard over the U.S. title or over the television title? Like just so good, man. We're in Seattle, so of course we're going to do a 3-point stance. Meet in the middle. Man, calling Hercules stupid now. Come on, Vince. Calm down, brother.
Psychologically as well as physically. Well, you said Hercules has guts, and I'll grant you that.
Yes, that is what would have worked. Tully being the second tier jerk and the Horseman worked perfectly. I agree. Tully was top down, just a heel, just a quality heel. I love Tully's work. By the way, Tully's got a channel with Conrad Thompson on YouTube. He just put it out there, Tully Vision. Go check it out. He's got very few subscribers right now, but you get a chance to hear the mind of Tully Blanchard. Yeah, sign me up for that.
He wants it bad. Well, he's definitely got the advantage right now. He's got Hercules really.
By the way, old Cranky Gamer, if you're in here still, check out the What If and check out the must-see matches. I did one on the Steel Cage I Quit match between Magnum in Tully as well.
Its toll on Hercules. He's not moving real quick, but he's still measuring.
Yes, Ted, I like it. Face Piper versus Nikita. Yes, sign me up for this. Oh, Ted, it's writing itself, my friend. We'll book a date for that one.
Taking its toll on both wrestlers. I mean, we've not only had one bout with them. This is the start of the second bout. Hercules down.
Oh yeah, I too would like to see Piper and Flair have a go. Yes, yeah, they did in WWF, but it wasn't the same. Piper in '83 in Jim Crockett Promotions was a whole nother level than kind of the clownish Piper in the WWF.
I said it before, he's wasting too much time. If you're gonna go, get up there. Hercules up there. Now Bam Bam on his feet. What's gonna happen?
Wow. Bam Bam just caught Hercules coming off the top rope with a body press with ease, which that's saying a lot. And Bam Bam with the slingshot over the top rope, splash. 1, 2, 3. Unfortunately, Hercules goes down. Sad to see. Nah. My boy Hercules. What have you done to my boy Hercules?
Bam Bam, along with his manager, Oliver Humperdinck, triumphant.
Cool Cranky Gamer. Will do. I watched all the old stuff, original wrestling doctors on my territory. It's my favorite. Great. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, love the documentaries on the old territories. I can't get enough of the old territories. It's so great. Yeah, Hercules with the highly twisting elbow drop. Love it. Yeah. Herc was an athlete, man. Absolute athlete.
We'll return with a special report on the condition of Bobby the Brain Heenan. Plus an interview
I love the old graphics they used to have for the wrestlers on here. I didn't see them anywhere else. It's just Andre with his name and then the measuring tape, stuff like that. But how's everybody doing here? We're at the end of our match, but we're going to finish off with the interviews. I'll let those play, and maybe I'll shut up for those interviews and stuff like that. But I know you're just looking at me and not the actual show. But man, this is a fun little card. I love. There's nothing about there's something about Saturday Night's Main Event. It just flew by. It was quick, and there was just fun matches, fun angles. It's just such a great job to get things over. The equivalent being Clash of Champions for NWA. Another great way to get things over, but it's great. According to Roma, he was a sweetheart, would visit sick kids in hospital on the road. Yeah, I heard. Yeah, he's kind of like the heart of gold guy. He had a temper, but yeah, definitely a good dude. And it's just unfortunate that he died young. But I mean, yeah, the stuff he's doing takes a toll on the body for sure. But yeah. This is great. Love watching these old Saturday Night's Main Events. Going to have to do a few more of these. These are it's a good excuse to watch wrestling. And Jen, thank you very much for letting me do this. By the way, it's great stuff. Let's go back to it. We're at 102.49. Looking at Brian Bosworth. Oh, Vince, come on, you're jealous. Here we go. God, Andre, you look like you just took a shower in your clothes. Bundaholics. Jericho ripping off Bundy. Bundy was good in the mic, by the way. Mean Gene just getting squished. Love the interviews backstage. It's just such a simple trope, but it's great. Great stuff. What do we got saying here? Potato. These Saturday night's main events were rare too. No monthly pay per view, so this was when you could see the competitive match outside the 6 months when the WWF came to town. Exactly. Yeah. Saturday mornings you get a star against an enhancement talent. So you got to see the stars, but you didn't get to see these. It's rare to see these matches one on one with a star and then versus another star. So it was a special deal when these Saturday night's main events came on. They were usually quarterly. Then they got to about 5 or 6. I mean, every couple of months. But yeah, we need a little bit more of that. We got too many PLEs these days. Too many. I will say that. I'll go to my grave saying that. Ted. So Piper goes to fight Hogan, but also we forget original Legion of Doom that King Kong Bundy and Jake the Snake with Paul Ellering and the Road Warrior. So 2 more top heels that left for WWF. Completely agree. Yeah. What if Jake stays? There's just so many what ifs going on here. And Bundy, yeah, that's. I mean, these territories got savaged. Mean Gene, just so professional as well. Yeah, just great stuff. Great stuff there. But yeah, we're gonna get the rematch at the January Saturday night's main event. Hogan Bundy. I forget who else is on that card. That would have been January of '88. I feel like there's like a Kamala Jake the Snake match or something like that. I can't remember. Um, what are we saying here? Jake was a slight step up from Buddy Landell to me. So much potential, but he really didn't become much. Very happy he's doing better though. Yeah, there's always the debate with Jake. Should he have been a champion? I don't think so. He didn't need a title. I felt like Damien was his title. He had aura. So just the fact that you're battling Jake the Snake, he's a top guy. He's a top talker as well. There's some guys who just didn't need a belt. It's kind of like the Undertaker. I felt like it always was weird to see him with a championship title around his waist. But yeah. Oh, God, so great. Just even that little bit of comedy at the end, just the Jesse Bush and Mean Gene. I care. I just love this stuff. Very well done. I mean, there you go. An hour and 6 minutes of actual TV time. It would be an hour and a half when it was on when you add the ads in. That's all you need for a wrestling program, folks. You don't need 3 hours of SmackDown with every match being a main event match. It's just not what you require in order to sell a program. This is great. And then you sell your superstars. So yeah, that's the end of the episode. Let me just check now. Let me see here. The next one. Oh yes, okay. Yeah, I remember this one. This is when Hogan and Bundy go at it. Andre does the chokeout on it. This is the real sell for the main event, which is in February of that year. So that was yeah, we're really moving along there, to be quite honest. Who else was on that card? Let me just take a look here. I'm just going to see if I can quickly pull this up for you guys. It would have been December 7th when it was taped. It would have been aired on January 2nd. So it was Strike Force with Tito Santana and Rick Martel against the Bolsheviks. So that's Volkov and Zukov for the tag team championship. Jake the Snake against Sika. Yeah, okay, that's what it was. I was thinking Kamala, but it was Sika. Hogan against Bundy with Andre the Giant. And then Greg the Hammer Valentine against Coco Beware. So, yeah, classic 80s names there. So what do we got going on? If I was a promoter or booker, I would not put any title on him. You need consistent shore boss guys like Honky Tonk Man and Tito Santana. Yeah. Honky Tonk, man. Was that guy a heat magnet or was that guy a heat magnet? Sika was still around. Yeah, he was just barely, but that was when he was doing a solo run. I think, if I remember correctly, the promo at the beginning of the show was when they had that giant bun, him and Fuji, and they had this comedic giant prop canister of mustard, and they were spreading the mustard on the bun, and they were going to make snake submarine sandwiches. Just wacky stuff. Like, this is the NBC influence on it, but it was just wacky enough to get the characters over, but not too crazy where it doesn't seem like they're trying too hard. It's kind of like tongue-in-cheek humor, but I don't know. I don't know if you guys are fans of that, but I found it was a great way to get people over. You know, Mean Gene with, again, those one-liners that he's zinging people with. You got 30-second promos backstage. You might have 3 of them with somebody, but still, it's just quick. It was just zingers going like that, and it got guys over. You don't need 15 minutes standing in the middle of the ring with a microphone trying to do Hamlet. It just 30 seconds. These guys were masters of promos back then. It was great stuff. But what'd you guys think of that watch along? Should we do some more Saturday night's main events? Or if you've been to a couple of watch alongs so far, are you enjoying these? Is this something that you like to see more of? You know, what else should we do? Should we keep going with the main event? Should we maybe we go through, we do the next episode, and then we do the actual main event in February of next year? Maybe we can line it up with dates or stuff like that. You know, I'd rather kind of go, you know, in the 40-year cycle, but what the heck? I'd love to do some episodes of maybe like Mid-South from the early 80s, do some Jim Crockett promotions from like 85, something like that. I mean, would you guys be interested in seeing some of these watch alongs? Again, I know we can't actually show the video here, but I mean, as long as you got access to it, I'll try to find some stuff that's actually on YouTube so that it's stuff that people can all get a hold of instead of Peacock. What do we got saying here? Ted saying, let's give some love to the Hammer. Yes. Greg the Hammer Valentine. Boy, does he not get talked about enough nowadays. Potato saying the Hammer is one of my favorites. Yeah. I mean, he does not get talked about enough. The guy should have and could have been both NWA World Heavyweight Champion and the WWF World Heavyweight Champion. If you think back to the early 80s when he's taken on Bob Backlund, he had that controversial finish to that match with Backlund where it was the double pin. The referee awarded the title to Valentine, and that would have worked. I mean, that would have been fine. And Backlund didn't need the 6-year run or whatever. They could have had him be a champion. Could have had Don Morocco be a champion. Valentine could have easily been an NWA World Heavyweight Champion as well. He was fantastic as a United States champion. So yeah, give some love to Greg the Hammer Valentine. Evan Ginsberg, who I was just on the show with Wrestling and Everything Coast to Coast, he's friends with Greg Valentine, as well as Johnny Valiant. If you remember Luscious Johnny V, friends with them. So yeah, he always sings the praises of Greg the Hammer Valentine. Yeah, so we got some agreement on this. Yeah, that works. Watch anything old school is great. Yeah. I'm the same, man. I love it. I love it. Ted saying yes, Mid-South and Crockett. Yes. Old Cranky Gamer. There's a channel called 106 North Albany for CWF. Yes, I follow that channel. Great channel. They a lot of Florida stuff. I just watched, geez, I wish I had done one on this, but I watched Battle of the Belts from 86 with that awesome Ric Flair, Barry Windham match. Any Barry Windham fans here in the conversation, by the way? Is Barry another guy that I think he got talked about plenty during the 80s and 90s, but it kind of dropped off a bit as far as the love for Barry. But again, another guy that could have easily been NWA World Heavyweight Champion, a guy that I feel like could have stepped into Magnum TA's role after Magnum's accident. Jen's totally on board. Well, that's important because I need you to be totally on board for me doing these. Let's see. My fave was Morocco. People say he was lazy ring, but that was his gimmick to the lazy beach bum. Funny as heck. Yes, I agree. And he was lazy in the ring, in the mid 80s and stuff like that. But in the early 80s and in his stuff in GCW and all that stuff, he was a working man. And I mean, again, I still say like he was probably one of the MVPs of the WWF from 81 to 83 prior to the Hogan run with the title. He could have easily won the title from Bob Backlund, held it for a while. I love Morocco. His interviews were great. His work with Lou Albano was great, or with the Grand Wizard as well. He's, the beach bum. Great gimmick as well. What's Ted saying? Bonus episode live stream for Guess the Wrestler. There you go. Ted, we might need some more. We might need some more suggestions for who we can do for who we can. Maybe we'll have to put our heads together for that because we need to get Jen back on for some trivia. I don't know if you guys have checked out Wrestling with the Wife on the channel where we do some Guess the Wrestler trivia, but it's always a fun episode, educating Jen on these who these people are. And also getting her guess on some of the names of these wrestlers. Old Cranky Gamer. Barry was a guy that was his own worst enemy. He didn't care enough because coasted on his natural talent, was a terrible face, but amazing heel. Yeah, I can see where you're coming from on there. He was definitely a guy that just had so much natural ability and charisma. Was he a terrible face? I don't know. I'll ask the chat their thoughts on that, but I don't know if he was a terrible face, but he was definitely a better heel for sure. Great heel. But back in 86, 85, 86, early 87, when he has working boots on, one of the top wrestlers going. Yeah, but yeah, I see where you're coming from that one there, Crank Gamer. That's for sure. Ted. All the Crockett guys said it was a night off working with Wyndham, so smooth. Yeah, for sure. The guy was very, very smooth in the ring. ECW lineup for Jane. Oh, God. Oh, God. That's just bringing up some possible PTSD there. Jeez, Ted. That's we got to keep it 80s, though. We got to keep it 80s. Potato. Barry Windham, have to say I got most of my sorry, trying to bring that up. What happened there? Barry Windham, have to say I got most of my looks from him in WWF, and he was okay, but never stood out to me. Yeah. Well, yeah, if you're only going by the WWF, US Express, that kind of thing. Yeah. The NWA side and the Florida Championship Wrestling stuff, yeah, for sure. Different side of it. Ted says regional face so over in Florida. Yeah. For sure. And of course, I mean, being the son of Blackjack Mulligan and being in the Crockett territories and being in the Florida territories, yeah, definitely, that helps a lot too. Speaking of Florida, I mean, as soon as you talk Florida, you think of Dusty, you think of Kevin Sullivan. I haven't talked enough about Kevin Sullivan on here. You think of Gordon Soley. Those are the things that come up when you think about that. Eddie Graham, of course, too. But Kevin Sullivan, where you rank him on your Mount Rushmore of heels? I know he might not be on that top 4, but where you put Kevin Sullivan maybe in the top 10 of heels? I mean, especially in his Florida wrestling. And it seems like Cranky Gamer, you're more of a CWF fan. So where are you putting Kevin Sullivan as far as top heels of the 80s. What are your thoughts on that? And Ted, I think you could chime in on Sullivan as well, just from his work in Crockett and different areas like that. And is Gordon Soley, is he number one all time as announcers? For me, I'm a Jim Ross fan, but is Gordon Soley the top guy? Cranky Gamer, let me see here. That's where I get my take on him. His promos were painful. Okay. So the promo, he wasn't the strongest promo guy. I'll say that. Having J.J. Dillon there to do your promos for you certainly elevates you a level, which is ironic coming into the Horsemen. They're all promo guys, right? I mean, Tully, Arn, Flair, just unbelievable. Even Ole, great promo. Different promo than Tully and Arn and Flair, but so convincing as far as his promos. But yeah, Kevin Sullivan fans out there, what are our thoughts on him? We need to do more talking about this guy. I think his WCW run in the Dungeon of Doom really put a little bit of a stank on him in the eyes of more modern fans. But I mean, his stuff in the CWF, his stuff is the not a Satan worshiper, but a proponent of the darkness. Let's just say that. Yeah. By the way, thank you to everybody who's joined tonight. I see the number keeps going up as far as the amount of viewers in here. This is fantastic. If you are just joining, welcome. Feel free to jump into the chat. We're asking the question about top heels in the 80s. We're looking at thoughts on Kevin Sullivan, thoughts on Barry Windham. Gordon Soley is your number one announcer of all time. We just got through watching Saturday Night's Main Event from November 28th, 1987. A great little card, some great matches on there. Talk about what other watch-alongs we can do. I think we're talking about maybe doing some old Mid-South, maybe some JCP, some CWF. What do we got on here? So, Old Cranky Gamer. Sullivan was amazing in CWF, but he tried that shtick way too much everywhere but in Florida. He, Winona Little Hart, Mark Loom was fantastic. Okay. I'm having a mental block here, so help me, Cranky Gamer. Winona Little Hart, who was that? Who was why am I going blank on this right now? That wasn't Luna, was it? No, she wasn't that. Especially with Gordon's reaction. Yeah, that's again, this is like back to my thing with Mean Gene and what he did to really help out those wrestlers. It was just he really helped get those wrestlers over, and the announcer, their reaction makes such a big deal. Think about what Jim Ross did for Mick Foley and different guys like that. Ted, definitely Sullivan in Florida was prime heel stuff. Actually made Bob Roop interesting. I was thinking the same thing when I was watching the Battle of the Belts. Bob Roop. I was like, man, I remember Bob Roop on Mid-South. He was just like watching paint dry and listening to him when he would. I don't know why he would always jump in on just guest commentary with Boyd Pierce, but yeah, it was not fun. But then I saw him show up in CWF and half his head shaved and the face paint. He actually looked cool. I thought, yeah, you're right. Sullivan was definitely made Bob Roop interesting. What we got here? We got Old Cranky Gamer, Buddy Colt, Gary Hart, Pac Song, Bob Roop. Yeah, there's another Bob Roop mention. And again, what was his name with Sullivan's crew? He was sometimes referred to as Bob Roop, but it was something else. And God, why am I going blank on that too? Yes. Thank you, Cranky Gamer. Winona was called the Lock. Yes. She was the other female valet that was along with Luna Vachon. Luna, another great female wrestler, character of the 80s, even the 90s. Her work with Bam Bam Bigelow and stuff like that, and with Gold Dust that doesn't get talked about enough. and she just was somebody that wasn't fitting in there at the time. Purple Haze, no, Purple Haze was Kevin Lewin, wasn't it? What was Bob Roop's? Or sorry, Kevin Lewin, Jesus. Mark Lewin. I'm going punch drunk here now. Trying to keep up with it. Potato. I am lost on this, but interesting to hear guys I know of, but promotion never got to see. Well, I agree with you. And hey, I'm playing catch up on stuff like CWF, obviously from the magazines. That was where I got a lot of my stuff in the 80s. And then watching it nowadays, unfortunately I didn't get CWF on TV up here in Nova Scotia. Ironically, we had some of the wrestlers from that territory come up to Nova Scotia because they would come up here during the summer and wrestle sometimes. JJ Dillon, who was a mainstay down in Florida, was a booker up here in Atlantic Canada for a little while. He did some booking in 1984 for international wrestling. He was also involved here in 77 as a wrestler. So there was a Florida connection. There was a lot of tapes that were sent up from Florida. We had some guys that came from Cuba, different places like that. Wrestlers that you would see down in was it called down in Puerto Rico and Cuba. But anyways, the Carlos Colon territories and stuff like that, you would see some of those guys. Yeah. Bob Roop, it was an Indian name, like a religious leader thing. Yeah, I believe you're right. I'm going to look this up because this is going to drive me out of my skull if I don't get this right. I don't know why I'm drawing such a blank. Geez, Bob Roop. Maha Singh. There you go. Good call, Cranky Gamer. You are right on. Yeah, Maha Singh was Maya Singh as well. But yeah. Yeah, there you go. I knew Ted would jump on it. There you go. Maya Singh. There you go. Yep. So obviously he was a decorated amateur wrestler prior to that, but he was just so straight laced in Mid-South, and then to see Bob Roop then come to CWF with his head half shaved and stuff like that. Just crazy stuff. But yeah, good stuff. Anything else that we want to talk about before we get going here? I mean, I'm game to chat more about some old school wrestling if you guys are up for it. Again, looks like we've got 8 people in the chat right now, so I really appreciate this. If you're new to the channel, make sure that you are subscribed because you don't want to miss any notifications about live streams or about any new videos going out. As I mentioned at the beginning, we had the previous live stream. Ted, who's in the chat here, thank you, Ted, joined me to watch Starrcade 85 on the 40-year anniversary of Starrcade 85. Great event, great watch along, great contribution from Ted. As well, I mentioned that I have the Hulk Hogan's Essential Matches series that I've been doing for the last little while with Andy from Grappling with Canada. He's helped me out with going over the different stages of the Hogan career. We did episode 1, which is available now on the channel. We did his early start from 77 to 83, especially his AWA years and some of the matches that you want to see and maybe some of the people forgot about. Episode 2 is out as well on the channel, and it was talked about his first WWF, not his first WWF. His first WWF run came in 1979-80, but his main WWF run, which was from 84 to 93. So that one was a great episode, fun episode, talk about all like stuff like this that we just watched. The newest one's going to be coming out shortly. I'm hoping by this weekend. It's the just in the final editing process. Talk about the WCW years, 94 to 2000, and we're not just talking NWO, because I know a lot of people when they think about Hulk Hogan and WCW, it's only NWO, but no, he had the red and yellow run, but both at the beginning of his run in WCW as well as the end of his run in WCW, and we really touch on what a impact and what a factor Hogan's son with WCW made W as well as sorry, I think I just lost connection for a second. But yeah, what an impact that him joining made for wrestling as a whole, and really kicked off that war that we had between the NWA between WWE and WCW. And then the final episode is going to be on his return to WWF back in 2002, and it went through to about 2005, 2006. Again, that's going to be coming. And as Ted mentioned, thank you, Ted. You always got my back. Subscribe, like, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any great content. And check out the library content. I know there's some other great stuff. There's something for everybody. We got Wrestling with the Wife, where we're talking trivia, having fun. My lovely wife, Jen, the lovely Jen, joins me to play Guess That Wrestler, Name That Wrestler. We got the What If series, where it's talking about the what ifs of wrestling. The two main ones that I've talked about so far are what if Magnum TA never had his auto accident, and what if David Von Erich had not passed away in 1984? What kind of an impact, what kind of a factor that would have had on wrestling as a whole? Just tonight, we're talking about possible other what ifs that we could be doing. Really like the idea of doing one on Roddy Piper. And we also have wrestling spotlights, or spotlights on both Magnum TA and on David Von Erich. Have some tribute episodes on some wrestlers that have passed. Have some interviews there. We got an interview with the authors of Andre the Giant, Eighth Wonder of the World, which I have right here. I don't know if you can see the Eighth Wonder of the World. That's the Andre the Giant. Great book here. It had Bertrand Hebert and Pat LaPrade joined. Also, they did Pat Patterson's biography as well. So great stuff. And plus, Talking the Territories. Got to do another one of those soon. I'm really psyched to try to get on board. Maybe do some Mid-Souths or something like that. So yeah, great stuff on there. So there's something for everybody. If you're a fan of old school wrestling, if you're a fan of 80s wrestling, make sure you check it out for sure. Potato, the old Starcades, which you could always redo, and Patreon is always a thing for watch-alongs too. Yeah. I think what on Patreon you can actually get away with showing the video. Is that what the deal is? Yeah. Well, I'm trying to make my bread and butter with the folks here at YouTube, but you never know. I may look into the Patreon thing. I'm trying to get my feet wet with the live streams right now and see how comfortable I can get with it, and trying to get the hang of it. You'll see the looks will change as we go, but that might be an option down the road. Yeah, the Magnum vid, almost 25,000. I'm blown away by that. I'm blown away by the reaction to that. I am so happy that so many people have actually gone and watched that video, because I think it's one of the bigger what ifs among wrestling fans. And I really am proud of that conversation that myself and Ted had about that subject. I think we touched on a lot of great things, a lot of great scenarios. We kept it positive. I mean, obviously, it's unfortunate what happened, but the main the main thing that you take away from it is that Magnum lived, and he had a great life. He's had a great life, and he's turned into a great father and a great husband, and that's the win for him and all that. But it's still fun to play these what ifs, man, especially with what an impact that had on Jim Crockett Promotion, the NWA, and the wrestling world as a whole. Slide Counter, you're back. I remember the last episode you jumped on. Thanks for coming in again. Do you ever get interested with fantasy matchups? Give me some examples. Like, what do you want to talk about there? I mean, obviously, we all, do some booking in our heads. I mean, at some point, I'd love to do an episode where it's talking, maybe a fantasy tournament, maybe somehow, I don't know how, maybe we could do a live stream or something like that, where we're doing like brackets, tournament brackets or something like that. And we can have people in the chat, talk and vote on things. That would be pretty fun to do. I mean, I love, the whole fantasy booking side of things. I mean, I try not to get too carried away with it, but I love just thinking about what could have been. That's my biggest thing. So yeah. Good to see you back here, Slide Counter. I appreciate you jumping in. Let's see here. What are you saying? Example, like a Randy Savage versus a Randy Orton. Okay. Okay, I gotcha. Yeah, I mean, I never thought of that match actually, but that'd be a fun one to have. Yeah. Orton's one of my favorite modern guys. He's I gotta stop hitting this microphone. I'm really sorry about that, folks. I just hold it, but Jen would come down and slap me for that. She's not a fan of the streamers with the holding the mini microphones there. But yeah, Randy Savage versus Randy Orton, man. Like, if there's a guy, my son asked me this question not that long ago. Like, would certain guys from this era fit into the '80s era of like WWF and stuff like that? And I said more so WWE guys would fit in. Certainly, like a guy like Cena would fit in, obviously with his red, white, and blue character. Randy Orton would fit in. Obviously, he's as smooth as silk, and he's jacked up, a big guy. He'd be a great. I mean, could you imagine like a heel Randy Orton with a heel Jake the Snake Roberts as a tag team or something like that? Those two. You got the Viper and the Snake. Could you imagine those two together and the intensity of those promos? My God, I've never thought of that combination before, but there's a fantasy one. What do you guys say in the chat? Who would win in a match between Randy Savage and Randy Orton? The Battle of the Randys, and who's winning? Who has it going over? What's happening in that? I'm going to say Randy Savage, never afraid to put somebody over. I'm going to guess that Orton wins it by RKOing Savage while he's in the middle of his flying elbow off the top rope. How about that? What do you guys think with that? Ted is saying Cena versus Nikita. Well, hey, there you go. Just switch out Rusev for Nikita, and man, that's a lot of muscle in one ring in one time, isn't it, man? But yeah, Cena versus Nikita, that would be, that'd be prime. That would be a prime matchup. I mean, Cena's like the all-American boy. Nikita was so good as that Russian heel, especially with Uncle Ivan by his side. Could you imagine that? That'd play a factor there. I'd love to see Nikita take Cena's head off with the Russian sickle. I'm sorry. I mean, I appreciate Cena, but I'm not a massive Cena fan, to be quite honest. I hate the fact that he's tied with Ric Flair for the most title wins, but whatever. It's all imaginary anyways. Flair's actually got probably like 24 title wins, not just the 16 or 17 that they call it. But yeah, yeah, Nikita versus Cena. Who do you guys got on that one? Is it Nikita with the Russian sickle? He gets the win, or does he go for the sickle, misses as Cena ducks under, hits him with the AA, and then ties him up with that vicious face lock that he does, where he hardly even touches the guy's chin when he's doing the pullback on the STFU. But hey, I'm not a hater. Okay. So this is a good one. Old cranky gamer. This is one that's been talked about before. Going to show my age, but mine is face Billy Graham versus heel Hulk Hogan. Interesting. So are we talking NWO style Hulk Hogan, or are you talking early heel Hulk Hogan with, the atomic bomb chest hair going on? I mean, Billy Graham against Hulk Hogan. That's a great match, because then you can play the whole Billy Graham is mad at Hogan because he's stealing his gimmick, which is basically what he did. Everybody stole Billy Graham's gimmick, right? Anybody that was muscled up and became that. You had, Austin Idol, you had Hulk Hogan, you have Scott Steiner, you have so many different muscle guys that do that, right? Ted's voting for Sterling Golden Hogan. Can we have Dizzy Hogan in the corner for him? Oh man, I love this. I love the chat that's going on here. I can't even keep up with this. This is great. Early Hogan with Blassie smacking his biceps with the cane. There you go. So we got atomic bomb, Hogan there. Yeah, Blassie with the old the handwritten 24-inch cue card there. Yeah. So we're talking like 1980s Shea Stadium Hogan versus Andre era against a babyface Superstar Billy Graham. I'm going with the superstar myself on that one. And I'm going with that because you got a crowd that, think about it, back when he was a heel, the crowd wanted Billy Graham to be a babyface. So think about him as a babyface against the Hogan. And imagine that test. Do you picture him with that test of strength where they lock up and just going at the test of strength? I love it. Good stuff. Good call on that one, Cranky Gamer. That's good. Feel free to jump in with comments on those matchups. Let me see. Jen saying anyone versus Paul versus Paul Heyman just to shut him up. Hello. And Ted's in agreement. Doing the Daniel Bryan. Yes. Yeah, anyone against Paul Heyman. I'd like to see, let me see here. Well, we've already seen Jim Cornette against Paul Heyman, and that was a dog's breakfast. I'd like to see Baby Doll versus Paul Heyman and her smacking him around because she was stiff in there and she didn't pull any punches. And I think she would have had Paul Heyman crying with some of those shots that she would have gave him, some of those slaps and those punches. So what do you guys say? Who would you have against Paul Heyman from a managerial perspective? I think him, either Baby Doll or Jimmy Hart. It's going to be my choices. But you're going to need somebody in there that knows what they're doing. So maybe it's Bobby Heenan because he can bump and lead the match and stuff like that. Speaking of managers, 80s managers, somebody that I feel like it gets forgotten about a lot, but it was brought up in one of my posts. Somebody commented on top managers. Captain Lou Albano. Where do you guys put him? Wait a second. Slide counter jumping in with a tasty little matchup here. Look at this one. Ricky Steamboat and Jay Youngblood, one of the best tag teams of the 1980s, versus the Road Warriors. Okay. Have we gotten that match in the past? I feel like they might have crossed paths at some point in JCP or in GCW or something like that. But maybe not. Maybe they didn't. But yeah, I mean, could you imagine Ricky Steamboat selling for the Road Warriors? That guy is like Oscar-worthy selling. I mean, him and Ricky Morton, the top sellers of all time, you got to say, and him selling for for the Road Warriors would be fantastic. Yeah, that's who you got in Steamboat and Youngblood versus the Road Warriors. I'm going with the Road Warriors. Possibly you might see a disqualification or something like that, but I don't know. But man, that'd be like a classic baby, pure white meat baby faces against a monster heel team of the Road Warriors. So who you got in that match? Good call on that one, Slide Counter. Jen is like saying, Baby Doll, absolutely. Yeah, she would beat the tar out of Paul Heyman, I feel like, and it would be pretty enjoyable to watch, to be quite honest. Maybe Sunshine. I know Jen knows who Sunshine is. Maybe she could take care of Paul Heyman too. I am Potato, I'm blanking, but let me say the Giant versus Andre the Giant. So father and son battle, eh? If you go by the lore of 1995 WCW. So Paul White against Andre the Giant. I'm going with, okay, call me crazy. If it's early Paul White, athletic Paul White, I'm going with Paul White in that one because he was insanely athletic and he's going to be the one that's going to have to do all the athletic stuff in the match where Andre would be lumbering around. Now, if you're going with early Andre, he was ridiculously athletic back in his day too, but I'd say Paul White was even more athletic. So that would be a fun one to watch, to be quite honest, because it's just two legendary giants going at it. I feel so bad for Paul White because he really he got abused by the WWE and all those people, those turns that they had to go through and the losses that he took. He should have been spectacle, not just some guy that's just a jobber, really. Ted, since we've been showing love to Bob Roop, Battle of the Olympians, Angle versus Roop. Yeah. I'll take that. I'll take that one. I'll also say I'd love to see Kurt Angle against Chad Gable, who really should have been Kurt Angle's son, not Jason Jordan. Although it's a much funnier storyline with Jason Jordan, but yeah, Kurt Angle against Bob Roop. That's an interesting one. I go with Angle. I mean, Angle is to me top 10, top 5 all time of some of the greatest all around performers, both in the ring and then what he did on the microphone, the entertainment side. But he's a guy who just got it. We got a late charge here. Also, Angle versus Ken Patera. Now that's a good Olympian battle there. Good call on that one, Potato. I like that one. Honestly, that's I don't know. If you're going with early Ken Patera, man, a lot of people get lost on Ken Patera. They think because their only experience with him is WWF, and especially late 80s WWF when he came back from prison. Ken Patera, prior to WWF, was being touted as possibly being the NWA World Champion. He was the Missouri state champion. He was unreal back in the day, and then he really got sidelined by the whole situation with the prison stay. Yeah, Sly Counter agrees. Angle versus Patera, good one. Let's do a 4-way match. It's Angle versus Patera versus Bob Roop versus Chad Gable. How about that? We'll just meet it all in the middle there. Could you imagine that match? We'll do a Hell in the Cell or maybe I don't know, Elimination Chamber or something like that. Maybe we can throw Shelton Benjamin and Brock Lesnar in there too, just to get like all amateur stuff going on. Potato. The finish could be throwing huge rocks through the window of McDonald's. Poor Ken Patera. He's got some interesting shoot interviews out now, I think. So yeah, he's his own man. I still love watching Patera do his stuff on the old World's Strongest Man competitions back when it was, Patera and like Lou Ferrigno and guys like that. It's pretty cool stuff. I miss this one by Sly Counter. Imagine Ravishing Rick Rude and Val Venus as a tag team. There you go. How about Rick Rude and Val Venus against the team of Jake Roberts and Randy Orton? There you go. That's a good feud. We go. Rude and Venus against the Midnight Express. How about that? Rude and Venus against a babyface Rockers. How about that? That's not bad. I like that. Rockers don't get enough love. The Midnight Rockers, for that matter. Let me see. The I Am Potato said that was a hell of a fatal 4-way with the Olympians. I agree. You can see Kurt Angle doing that though. Yeah, maybe in an altered state, Kurt Angle might chuck a rock through a McDonald's. I could see that happening. Ted, what do you got here? You got Kurt Angle versus Mr. Pro. Yeah, yeah. Or the dream match of all time, Kurt Angle against Bret Hart. That's the one that we never got, which I would have loved to have seen. They just like two ships passing the night. They just missed each other, but yeah, perfect. Would be fantastic. 89, 90, perfect. Oh, just off the charts. I'm glad we did get to see him against Bret Hart. Fantastic stuff. I feel like we need to find something for Scott Hall / Razor Ramon. Who would be a good fantasy matchup for Scott Hall? Like another guy that's just such a great worker. Trying to think. Razor Ramon, Scott Hall, fantasy matchup. Barry Windham? Babyface Razor against a heel Windham? I don't know. We need one for Tully as well. Oh, Scott Hall versus Magnum TA. There you go. It's the battle of the mustache. We go with Cowboy Scott Hall. How about that? We go Cowboy Scott Hall back with the mustache against Magnum TA. You can throw Jake the Snake in there for a mustache match, a 3-way. Yeah, you're on that, Ted. You knew it. Yeah, Scott Hall versus Magnum. There you go. Yeah. We'll throw Tokyo Magnum in there too. Razor versus Wyndham. Yeah, if we wanted to get serious, yeah, that would be a fantastic match. They might have even battled each other in Florida. I don't know. Maybe if our friend Cranky Gamer's in here, he might be able to answer that. Has Lou Ferrigno ever gone in the ring? Not wrestling that I know of. He's gotten presented stuff with WWF. He was part of Vince McMahon's World Bodybuilding Federation, I believe, but I don't think he ever got in the ring and wrestled, to be quite honest with you. Another fancy matchup for me, I'd say, would be like the Rock and Roll Express against the Midnight Express, or against the Rockers, but that's just too similar a style, to be quite honest with you. It's just two babyface rock teams, not so good. But I'm trying to think of who else they could have went up against. I mean, Midnight Express against the Rockers is something that we never got. That would have been fantastic, especially like a Dennis Condrey and Bobby Eaton version against the Rockers. That would have been great. Potatoes got Scott Hall versus Ernie Ladd with their personalities. That would be epic. Yeah. For sure. Yeah, that definitely. What about Scott Hall versus like a Paul Mr. Wonderful Orndorff? Now, I know I'm a big pusher of Orndorff. I like Orndorff a lot. But I like his intensity, but that's an interesting matchup as well. I love these fantasy scenarios. Trying to think modern, like more modern, like who can we throw like Roman Reigns in there with that would make sense from that time period? What about even a heel Roman Reigns against a Hogan in '86 or something like that? Who's taking that match? What about an LA Knight? Does an LA Knight fit in against somebody? LA Knight, against a Tully Blanchard or somebody like that. How about that feud? That could work. Tully versus MJF. There we go. Ted's thinking outside the box. Yeah, I'm always thinking WWE. I'm forgetting about the AEW guys, to be quite honest. We could throw Hangman Page into that battle of the mustaches with Scott Hall versus Magnum TA and Jake Roberts if you wanted to. So it's all an all mustache matchup there. But Tully versus MJF. Oh my God, could you imagine the promos on that? Like, who could you hate more during those promos? Like, my God, like it's just you're not going to cheer for anybody. You're just going to want to just strangle everybody in that whole situation. We got to find one for Arn, and I know Ted's going to come up with something good for Arn, but Arn Anderson against somebody modern. Now, let's try to think of somebody from AEW that Arn would be willing to put over. I don't know. Arn versus like Darby Allin or something like that. I don't know. Yeah. Some interesting stuff. Yeah. Oh my. We got any more before we get going here? I don't want to keep you guys too long, but this has been an absolute blast. If I'm not following you guys in the chat on YouTube, I'll make sure that I do. I'll subscribe to your channel because you've been all fantastic as far as contributing to the conversation. It's been great. Yeah, is there anyone else there? I don't think I missed any of the possible fantasy matchups. Let me just see if there's any that I skipped over, but I think we got them all. Ted's jumping in here with Surfer Sting versus heel tribal Roman Reigns. Yeah. Anything with Surfer Sting. That's my favorite version of Sting, I'll be honest. I mean, the Crow Sting was super cool, but I'm a fan of Surfer Sting. It's just got that old school feel of a really fun baby face, and obviously a guy that could work as well, like not like Warrior where it was all sizzle no steak, but yeah, Surfer Sting, I like it. Against Roman Reigns, that would be That'd be a physical match. Yeah, that would be a very physical match. That'd be good. What about like a Bronson Reed against a like a Mankind or something like that, like a Cactus Jack, just an all out just brawl. I'm really impressed with Bronson Reed, how he's changed himself. He's been like taking his diet seriously. He's been taking his work seriously. He's got this new aura to him, especially since he's been with Paul Heyman. It's just such a like. I wasn't on the Bronson Reed train prior to joining the Vision, but man, oh yeah, yeah. Here we go. Arn versus LA Knight. Want to see the promo battle? Good call, Ted. Let's throw Logan Paul in there versus Arn too. There's a good promo battle. Logan Paul against Tully Blanchard. You want to talk about who the heck do you cheer for in that match? There's a good one for you. Logan Paul and Tully Blanchard. Could you imagine that battle on the promos? So just in regards to the channels, Potato says I have no channel. I just watch. Well, thank you for watching. I really appreciate that. Old Cranky Gamer, he said I do have a wrestling vid on my channel, but the TEW What If should be in February. I want to run multiple territories up until 2000 at least. So make sure you jump on and give Cranky Gamer a follow. Make sure you give this man Ted Stakes on Wrestling. I demand you follow Ted Stakes on Wrestling. He's got a great channel, great stuff. Friend of the show. Oh, and look at this. Tully versus Dom. Yeah. Dom would fit in that era. He'd be such a great heel, such an annoying heel. He'd be fantastic. I don't know. Whew. How about slide counter? Look at you, my friend. I like this. I like this a lot. Braun Breaker versus the Total Package, Lex Luger from 1987. That's some peak Lex Luger there when he's the U.S. champion. Horseman, great run for Luger. J.J. Dillon versus Paul Heyman in the managerial side of things. And you got Braun Breaker against him. Yeah, I like that. I just thought of another one. What about Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed against a team like the Road Warriors? Something like that. Or Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed against the Steiner brothers. Good stuff. But yeah, Braun Breaker versus Total Lex Luger. That would be a fun one to watch for sure. Slyken, I don't know if you've got a channel or not, but I'll check you out if you do for sure. Just let us know. But yeah, it's great stuff. Great stuff. Guys, I think I'm gonna cut off here because I'm in Nova Scotia, and I have to work tomorrow. So it's 10:15 here. So I don't want to wear out the welcome. This has been phenomenal. I'm so pleased and happy with the participation. This is great. You've been a fantastic group. I appreciate all the work in the chat. Love the fact that everybody's been so interactive. Love that we got a chance to watch just a fun old school wrestling episode with the Saturday Night's Main Event. We'll have to look at a territory. I'll check to see what we've got on YouTube that we can check out. I like the I like the whole idea of maybe checking out some CWF because that's probably one that I've been a little slack on for checking. JCP, like I say, Mid-South, all that good stuff. I'm always up for a world-class watch along too, but I think this is going to become maybe a weekly, bi-weekly or weekly affair because this has been really fun. Slide Counter, yes, thanks for the live, bro. This was fun. Thank you, man. Thanks for showing up again. Really appreciate the support. Ted, thank you very much. Appreciate you too, my friend. You've been fantastic. Old Cranky Gamer, it's great to meet you, man. Great time. Love talking history of wrestling. Love it. Great. I'll make sure to give you a follow. Yeah. Anyways, folks, I hope you have a great rest of your week. Keep an eye out for more live streams in the future, and check out the channel and subscribe if you haven't. But thank you very much. Thank you to everybody for all their support, and I hope you have a fantastic week. And if we're not talking, have an amazing Christmas and holiday season. Thank you very much, everybody. Good night. Love you all. Thanks a lot.